One of the most imposing figures in all of WWE. Samoa Joe will stare daggers through your heart before making it his mission to shorten your career.
And there are few things more unforgiving than the cold steel of a cage match.
Most of the time, I don't understand Samoa Joe's problem. I understand healthy competition in WWE, but Joe takes it to a dangerous level.
Saxton, I wouldn't expect you to understand Samoa Joe's mindset. He has the instincts of an assassin, something very few possess.
Oh, perfect kick. Oh, what a boot to the face. He's looking a little wobbly here, guys.
Michael, his legs look like they're about to give out on him. The steel cage is a massive enclosure that stands 15 feet in height. For almost 35 years, a select group of high flyers have taken their aerial assaults to greater heights. And when I say that, I mean superstars climb to the top of the steel cage, the real high-rent district, and dive off onto their opponent. And that all started with one man in October of 1983. Here it comes!
Beautiful technique.
I can't believe it, Michael.
To your point earlier, Byron, we've definitely seen some unbelievable attacks be launched from the top of the steel cage. And you mentioned the most iconic, the steel cage match for the Intercontinental Championship that saw Jimmy Superfly Snuka clash against bitter rival, the magnificent Morocco.
There's no denying that Superfly set the bar. You look over the years to people like Jeff and Matt Hardy, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho. They continued to push the envelope and executed unbelievable attacks from the top of the cage. And watch Rikishi take flight off the top of the steel cage. Wow. According to historians, the twisted metal that we see as part of steel cages today dates back 80 years. To settle a dispute between competitors Jack Bloomfield and Count Pietro Rossi, the two met inside a ring surrounded by chicken wire. At first, these types of matches were full of impact.
Samoa Joe isn't looking so hot, guys.
And Kofi's having some fun now.
Corey, you gave us an impressive history of the origins of the steel cage match. I'd like to point out to our viewers that from the 1960s through the mid-1980s, chain link fences were used to enclose the ring for WWE steel cage matches. A superstar could win by pinfall submission or by exiting the cage through the cage door or climbing over the top of the cage.
We should also point out, Michael, that the way to win a steel cage match can vary by match depending on what was agreed to before contracts to compete in the match were signed. Talking about history, at WrestleMania 2,
The SOS from Kofi Kingston!
Just when you thought we were going to crown a new champion.
And he got a near fall out of it.
I don't believe it. He refuses to lose.
When locking up with Kofi Kingston, an opponent must find a way to keep this man grounded. Kofi leaves his feet, you're in trouble, because anything can happen.
Breaker
Right to the lower back.
Corey, you're absolutely right. It's imperative for Kofi Kingston's opponent to keep him out of the air. But we all know that's much easier said than done.
I can't imagine being tasked with trying to keep Kofi Kingston on the mat. That's like trying to keep a fish out of water.
Go! Oh. You simply can never count out Samoa Joe.
Oh no, I don't like Kofi Kingston.
You simply can never count out Samoa Joe.
Talk about dismantling your opponent.
Not sure I like Kingston playing to the crowd right here, but good luck talking him down. There's a certain feeling that comes over the combatants in a steel cage match once they hear the door close and see the official lock it. A superstar must know that their body is going to be thrown against the steel, that their face will most likely be raked across the cage, and that anything is legal in this environment.
You spoke about this earlier, Corey. It's crucial for a WWE superstar to fully understand the gravity of the situation they're in when they battle inside a 15-foot-high steel cage. An individual...
Trouble in paradise! Game, set, match. This one is over. The WWE Universe has seen the evolution of the steel cage in the enclosure known today as Hell in a Cell. The first time an enclosed cage was seen was in October of 1983 in the last Battle of Atlanta. The enclosed cage was seen a few years later in the War Games match from the NWA. There were even cages stacked on top of each other. Like
this steel cage match is in the books.
Well, guys, we thought that steel cage match was going to be a great one, but this was more than I even hoped for.
These superstars gave as good as they got, and these fans got their money's worth from the opening bell. He's going to want to make sure he saves every minute of this match for his personal highlight reel, because he was on fire in this one.
And still, WWE Champion, Kofi Kingston.
Extremely impressive win, guys.
That was simply a case of one guy determined to prove his dominance over another.
And as we expected, WWE Extreme Rules has been a brutal evening.